It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Be a good time, gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Oh yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen.
I just want to be clear about what's going on here. The system that makes sure that your granddad gets his Social Security check, the system that makes sure that your mom's doctor gets Medicare payment to cover her medical appointment, and the system that makes sure that you get the tax refund that you're owed has been taken over by Elon Musk. And every organization from your state government that uses federal money on that bridge project to the local Head Start that takes care of little kids while their mommies and daddies go to work is now at the mercy of Elon Musk. Elon just grabbed the controls of our whole payment system, demanding the power to turn it on for his friends or turn it off for anyone he doesn't like. Now, there's a second problem here. It's not just payments from the federal government that are now in Elon's control. Elon and his handful of friends now have full access to your personal and financial information that's in the system. Your payment history, your Social Security number, your bank account numbers. Elon now has the power to suck out all of that information for his own use. And there is a third problem. In order for this handful of programmers to gain access to our $6 trillion payment system, we don't know what safeguards were pulled down. Are the gates wide open now for hackers from China, from North Korea, from Iran, from Russia? Heck, who knows what black hat hackers all around the world are finding out about each one of us and copying that information for their own criminal uses. Donald Trump and his billionaire buddies are determined to take over this government to make it work better for themselves and worse for everyone else. And this is just the start. As we gear up for the tax fight, it will become even clearer that Trump will open the doors for his billionaires and giant corporations to find more ways to loot the government at your expense. Meanwhile, everyone else pays more for groceries, more for housing, more for prescription drugs, and more for health care. When unelected billionaires start ransacking our government offices, this is not business as usual. Nope, nothing is normal. We are living a nightmare created by Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and we need to wake up. We need to use every tool we have to fight back.
Listen, when Democrats got out there and we said that our democracy was really at risk, people were like, oh, Democrats, you're out there, you're gaslighting. It's not our democracy. Well, he did say he'd be a dictator on day one. Oh, Democrats, you know, it's just Trump. He just talks. Well, let me tell you something. He is doing more than talking. We talked about Project 2025. We talked about the consolidation of power. We talked about how he wanted to be a king. We talked about in a democratic republic, that is not what it is. We have some sort of checks and balances, and he is doing everything that he can to get rid of those checks and balances. The DOJ and the people that he's going after were simply doing their jobs. The problem is that Americans thought that it was okay to take a full-fledged criminal and make him the president of the United States, and then they want to act aghast when he does criminal things. Let me tell you, we have a thug in charge of the United States, and if we don't wake up, we may not have a United States, because right now he has only been successful in being a divider in chief.
Elon Musk, you didn't create U.S. aid. The United States Congress did for the American people. And just like Elon Musk did not create U.S. aid, he doesn't have the power to destroy it. And who's going to stop him? We are. We're going to stop him. Elon Musk, you may have illegally seized power over the financial payment systems of the United States Department of Treasury, but you don't control the money of the American people. The United States Congress does that under Article 1 of the Constitution. And just like the president, who is elected to something, cannot impound the money of the people, we don't have a fourth branch of government called Elon Musk. And that's going to become real clear.
The United States of America. And I don't care what Elon Musk is doing behind a presidential seal. In this country, we hate Nazis. Kind of like a foundational defining thing. Two of probably the most foundational defining things about American history is that we beat the Confederates and we beat the Nazis. And I don't know what side people may be on today, but I still am not rocking with anyone sympathetic to Nazis. And I will do that until I am 6 feet in the ground. Like, kind of foundational to me as a human being. And so if you're cool and want to defend the Sig Heils and the Nazi salutes, whatever you want to do, that's on you. I'm on the opposite side of that. I'm not with the Nazis. How about that?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Oh boy. Oh dear. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Just want to start off by saying, Elon Musk, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out, you motherfucker. Deport that South African illegal immigrant piece of shit right now. There. I feel better. I feel better already. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We got thumbs ups from Jolie and Chris Doug. Thank you so much. Guess I'm coming through loud and clear. Jolie first in the driver's lounge this morning. And Aaron West second. So my mods 1 and 2. Hello, everybody. William's here. Good to see William. The Soulcraft. Soulcraft. I don't know. I can't explain it. This is Morning TJ and Truckers. Looks like RFK Jr. just got confirmation. Well, I don't know. I heard he made it out of the committee, and I don't know if he's gone for the full vote yet. But anyhow, Jeff Curry is here. Hey, Jeff Curry. Howdy from Northern Uranus. See? It's not funny if you pronounce it correctly. Apparently, Jeff Curry is off of his January joke ban. I don't know. Tamara Price is here. Good to see Tamara in the driver's lounge. Thanks for being here. Roxanne Arnfield's here. Hey, Roxanne. Good to see you. And MJ Daniels here. Tamara Price. Hello, Tamara. I'm just scrolling on down here to say hello to everybody. MJ Daniel, Jeff Curry. Yeah, I saw you guys. I already saw you guys. There's Chris Doug. Hello, Chris Doug. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. MJ Daniels says the Republicans are allowing Musk, not elected or appointed to anything, no security clearance, to ransack the U.S. Treasury, and we all need to remember this in the midterm election, provided we have one at this point. I'm not sure anymore. I hate to be such a negative Nelly. I mean, they seem to be getting away with whatever the fuck they want. They just let Elon Musk traipse on through the U.S. Treasury with his little goon squad of 20-somethings, apparently, not vetted, not going through any type of security checks, security clearance, to my knowledge. Doing Lord knows what with all of our private information. It's ridiculous, and it's not. It's more than that. It's horrible. It's fucking horrible. And we can't let them just get away with this. We can't let them fucking get away with this. Fucking lock up Musk. Throw some fucking cuffs on his ass. Toss him in jail. There's got to be some violation of law there. Start enforcing the fucking law. Jesus H. Pink Nightmare's here. Hey, Pink Nightmare. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking on in. The Driver's Lounge. Bonnie Thompson is here. Welcome to the end of democracy. Really, right? You know, that's what it seems like. MJ Daniel, see if this is enough to get American voters to pay attention. If it is not already too late, right? I mean, I don't know. I think they're getting people's attention. Hopefully, you know, we probably need more protests. I know LA has been protesting. Even here in Vegas, there's been a lot of protests about for the deportations and stuff like that. I think we're just going to have to just everyone's just going to have to take to the streets. And I don't think, I'm not saying violently. You know, if everyone just took to the streets and they didn't go to work, they didn't go to school, they didn't go to gas stations, they didn't go to shopping markets, super stores, they didn't buy anything, and they just said, we're going to have a sit down, we're just going to sit down, we're not doing shit until we start seeing some fucking law and order here from this fucking supposedly law and order party. You start kicking fucking assholes out like Musk. And you stop with these ridiculous picks like RFK Jr., who is obviously not right in the head, and Kash Patel, who's obviously not right in the head. We need to put our fucking foot down. I've got a cousin of mine who apparently is a maggot, and she posted part of the videos that were the one where Jamie Raskin was at, where they were complaining or about the Musk's raid on the U.S. aid and the Treasury, and she just wrote she posted that, and then she wrote, "We won." I think she wrote, "We won. Get over it," or something like that. And that makes me fucking crazy. It makes me fucking crazy. These fucking maggots, they think just because Trump won, that he and his administration and Elon Musk can just do whatever the fuck they want. No, cuz that's not how it works. Just because you won an election doesn't mean you get to break the law. It doesn't mean doesn't mean you get to destroy the Constitution. You have to operate under the Constitution. Just because you won, and I don't care if you won in a landslide or if you won in a really close one like this one was. This was not a mandate, as we've said over and over again. Very narrow victory for Trump. Very narrow. The narrowest of narrow. No. We have a right to say, no, this is wrong. What you are doing, Trump, President Trump, is wrong and illegal and immoral. And you are a risk. You are a national security risk just by being in office. We have a right to say that. Don't come at me and say, we won, so get over it. Fuck you. Fuck you. Cuz. Jesus Christ, these people. Anyhow, welcome to the Driver's Lounge. As I scroll on down. Let's see, who else is here? We got James Williams is here. Good to see James Williams. Barney Thompson says, I spent 9 months last year losing my shit over the possibility of Trump winning. Agoraphobia, intrusive thoughts, panic attacks. Now I'm just pissed. Yeah, I mean, me too. I think a lot of us are just pissed. We're just pissed. And let's use our anger in a positive way. Let's get the word out. Let's not let Trump and his cronies get away with this bullshit. And every time he does something stupid, we need to just shout it from the rooftops what a fucking moron Trump is. Releasing all this fucking water in California that had nothing to do with the fires whatsoever. And releasing that water that he did, he's basically going to make it so that there won't be any water in the summertime to grow those crops and water the crops. Thank you, Donald Trump. You just fucking basically killed the agriculture of California, which has been called the breadbasket of the country. Donald Trump, you fucking moron. God, he's a moron. Don't let him get away with it, people. Don't let him get away with it. Jeff Curry says Elon spent more buying Twitter than he did to buy the White House. Well, let's see. I thought he bought Twitter for $44 million or something like that. And I thought he contributed $277 million to Trump's campaign. So I don't know. That's not adding up to me. So Kraft, I had to check my info. RFK not confirmed yet. My bad. Yeah. He just got out of committee. They have all these committees, right? They got out of that committee, and then now it's going to go for the full vote. But he's going to get in. He's going to get in. But you know what? God damn it, Democrats! I know. And then see, this is the thing. When you have a crackpot like RFK Jr. that has no business being in the head of any department, let alone Health and Human Services or whatever it is he's going to be. And we all know it. You know it. I know it. Even the fucking Republicans know it. But the Republicans are going to vote him in, and we're going to vote against them. And then they're going to say, stop making this a blue versus red thing. Stop making this like a teams versus team. This is not a team. Fuck you. Let's stop voting for crackpots, you stupid motherfuckers. I'm talking to the Republicans now, of course. If you voted how you really, really felt, and you really, really realize, you do know that RFK Jr. has no business being in this department, being the head of this department. You know it, and you're lying to yourselves and to the American people when you say that you're going to vote for that person and say that he's qualified to be there. You're lying. So don't come at me with this, stop making a blue versus red. Fuck you. You're an idiot. You Republicans. You're fucking idiots. You're sycophants. You're spineless. So fuck you. I'm coming in hot and heavy today, aren't I? Non-useful says El Salvador president confirmed agreement with Rubio on X, saying we are willing to take your undocumented immigrants. We'll take your American convicted criminals as well into our mega prison. Well, good for him. I don't know. Who gives a fuck? No, I mean, obviously, this whole thing, the illegal immigrants and stuff, again, these are just the bullet points. Trump wants to say that he's cracking down on illegal immigration. And that's what MAGA responds to. And of course, like everything that Trump does, he does nothing with any detail. Everything is just hacking away. There's no precision, nothing surgical. Pink Nightmare says I'll be lurking and working. Alrighty. Better to lurk than to not be here at all, I guess. James Williams says good morning. Good morning back at you. Chris Doug, we're live. I'm just not getting to the thumbs ups. That's how far behind I am in the chat that Jolie and Chris Doug gave me. And Barney says audio on point. Thank you so much. Non-useless says that means our U.S. convicted will slave labor in El Salvador in exchange for cheaper produce by passing Mexico. Deborah Murphy says I can hear you. I want him and all the helpers he got in prison not kicked out of America. The Soulcraft, yeah, my bad. Full vote this weekend. Ivy Joe Rains is here. It says hello, everyone, from the very cold UP, Wisconsin, Upper Peninsula, Wisconsin, I guess. It's a balmy 9 degrees out here, and the sun is shining. Ivy Joe Rains, thank you so much for being here. I've never seen you in here before, so just want to welcome you to the Driver's Lounge, and I hope you will stick around. I hope you like, subscribe, and share, and all that good stuff, especially sub. Subs are the big thing. Now, right here, it's 9:29 a.m. in the Pacific time zone, right here in lovely Las Vegas. I just want to say, right now, it is 61 degrees. We have a high today expected to be 76 degrees, and that is 15 degrees above the average temperature for this time of year. 15 degrees above average. 76 degrees. Now, I know a lot of you say that's beautiful. I would love to be there. I wish, I was there instead of in Wisconsin or whatever. And I hear you. I know. It sounds great. And it is great. 70 degrees, 75 degrees, 76 degrees. That's great. But on February 4th, and we haven't really had any measurable rain for like 200 days, and we're having 15 degree above average temperatures, that's scary too. Because this is only February, and I know it's going to dip back down. We'll get some colder temperatures, and eventually we're going to get rain and all that stuff. But we are in a long ass drought, very dry and very warm. And last summer we broke records for high temperatures, consecutive days of over 100 degrees, consecutive days of over 100 degrees at night, or for daytime or nighttime highs, all that kind of stuff. So my fear is that, and last year was the hottest summer I've ever seen in my life. I've lived in this desert my entire life, and last summer was the hottest summer I've ever seen in the upper Mojave Desert. Now, I've seen some summers like that down in the lower desert, which is the Palm Springs area. Some of you might know, Indio and Coachella. That's the low desert, and those are typically it's typically about 10 degrees warmer there than the high desert. So I did spend the summer there when I went to school there in 1980 or 81, and I remember seeing some 118-degree days. I remember, but even then, I mean, it would cool down. We would have football practice after the sun went down, during the summer, so that'd be like 9 o'clock at night or something. We'd have football practice just because it was just too damn hot during the day to have football practice, and it would cool down into the 90s if we were lucky. It'd be 100, and then it might dip down into the 90s, overnight. And that was in 1980, but that was the low desert, and that was fairly typical for Palm Springs, Palm Desert area. Up here in the high desert, like I said, we're generally about 10 degrees cooler than the low desert. And this past summer was the hottest ever. We had a 120-degree day. We had a lot of temperatures around that temperature. Overnight lows would not go under 100. And so here we are in February, 15 degrees above average with no rain. No, it's just, I don't know. I shudder to think what the summer is going to be like. Jolie says, there goes John, mispronouncing words again. I don't know. What word did I mispronounce? I mean, I know, I don't doubt that I did. I don't remember which one it was. Oh, Uranus. Okay, I got you. I'm saying it right. You guys are saying it wrong just so you could make your little jokey jokes. You have to bend words around to make a joke. Anyhow, all right. I'm beating a dead horse here. We've gone over that. All right, so let's see. I'm going to skip down a little bit. We got Marsha's here. Hi, Trucker John, in the driver's lounge. Hello, Marsha. Good to see you. Exhausted Liberals here. Exhausted Liberal says they can't arrest him. He was directed by the president, who has absolute immunity, and Musk also has a top secret clearance. How did he get clearance? How did Musk get any type of clearance? Did they vet him? Was he vetted? I don't think he was even vetted. I don't think he has clearance. I think he just has the permission of the president. So I don't think he has any clearance. And this thing about absolute immunity, let's test it. That's an untested thing. Everyone just says that, but because of that decision, but let's put it to the test. And even if they can arrest him, we sure as hell can fucking protest it. We can hit the streets, we can protest, and we can say, Musk, get the fuck out of my Social Security, motherfucker. Pink Nightmare, Pink Nightmare says, I'm going home last night. I see this old sleeper car, and as it went by, he plastered Trump on his fucking trunk. MJ Daniel, nationwide walkout, especially migrant workers. Well, they already are. They're not even showing up to pick the crops because they're afraid of getting rounded up and thrown into a camp or deported or whatever. So I think that's already happening. Aaron's also asking, how did Musk get clearance? I don't think he did. I don't think he wouldn't have passed. So I think, I guess the president can override that or something. I don't know. Exhausted Liberal says that that Musk had, I'm adding the Musk part, but he has top secret clearance before supporting Trump. Well, if it was, it was a special deal. Just he had clearance before supporting Trump, before Trump was even president. I don't know. That's not making sense to me. Because he'd been supporting Trump before Trump was president. This time around. MJ Daniel says, making Joe Kent, total MAGA asshole here in Washington, director of counterterrorism. The Republicans are the greatest danger to U.S. today. Yep. The Republicans are a national security risk. That's for sure. Peak Nightmare, he rigged it. Kamala won by 350 million votes. I agree. Pink Nightmare. I do agree that it was rigged. I agree with you. I don't know about the exact numbers, but I know that a lot of votes were purged, not counted. There was all kinds of stuff going on, and I think we need to keep saying it. It was rigged. Trump won only because it was rigged. He didn't really win. Yeah, I agree, Pink. I agree. AM says hi, trucker. Hi, John and trucklers. Hello, AM. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Kim Chi's here. Good to see Kim Chi, the goddess. Thank you so much for being here in the driver's lounge. Kim Chi says 2732. Please hit the like. Now I'm showing 42 watching and 42 thumbs up. So that's a 1-to-1 ratio right there. So there you go. Thank you so much for those thumbs ups. Anyhow, so the Zasa liberal says that Musk was given his security clearance when he started doing the rockets. Sick. That's right, because he does have government contracts for I guess for the rockets, but I'm not sure. Does that give him carte blanche to go into the Treasury Department? I mean, you would think that would be limited to rocket stuff, you know? I don't know, exhausted liberal. I'm just a dumb old ex-trucker. MJ Daniel says, all of my reps here in Washington are Democrats. If you have a Republican where you live, put on the pressure, see if they can find a backbone. We all need to call them, no matter what. Even if we have Democrats, if we live in districts or whatever with Democrats, we should just call up the Republicans and tell them that, that we don't support unqualified people like RFK Jr. I'm trying to keep it civil because if you call them and you start going, hey, motherfuckers, they're going to hang up on you. But so you got to keep it, you got to keep it kind of profane free, I guess. So exhausted liberal says, I'm exhausted, hence the name exhausted liberal. To be honest, there isn't even a crime to go after the orange blob over. It's also disgusting. Well, I think Elon Musk going into the Treasury Department and just running roughshod, there's got to be a crime there. There's got to be a crime there. If they're lifting information, if they're tapping into the computers and stuff, and they're getting everyone's social security numbers or whatever, that's got to be some kind of a crime. I mean, come on. Come on now. Ivy Joe Raines says Trump came in like a wrecking ball dictator. Jeff Curry says, saw a great comment for Elon. 97% of all Cybertrucks are still on the road. The other 3% made it home. Musk paid 44 billion. What did I say? I didn't. Did I say 44 million? Oh, I said 44 million, didn't I? Okay, yeah. Duh. Yeah. Okay, yeah. 44 billion, John, is bigger than 277 million. All right, you guys. Thanks for that correction. Yeah, Musk paid 44 bill. Overpaid for it, by the way, because he's so smart. But maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe he is. I mean, look where he's at now. He's basically running the country. And I don't get it. I really don't get it because I was thinking like, I was just thinking last night. I was thinking like, if I had just $1 billion, I'm sorry, folks, you guys would never see me again. I would be fucking. Or I would like to think that I would still do some live streams from, all these fucking places around the world. I would be traveling to. I would be traveling, and I would not be giving one fuck about trying to become. And this is just for 1 billion. And I know, Musk is supposedly worth 400 billion or 600 billion or whatever. If I just had 1 million, I'd be gone. I mean, what is it with these fucking power hungry motherfuckers like Bezos and Musk? I don't get it. You made your thing. You did the thing that all of us dream of doing. We all want to become millionaires or billionaires, and I'm saying this, generally speaking. And we, or at least we, because and then we think about what would we do with it? We would get a nice mansion, and we would, all the cars and all kinds of stuff. And then we probably think about we would be traveling and all over the world and stuff like that. But these motherfuckers, they have to fucking be rulers of the world or something. It's a really weird, like James Bond villain type of thing. What the fuck? What the fuck is that all about? Musk, you made it, okay? You made it. You're a multi-billionaire. Now just go fuck off. Take your fucking money and go fuck off. We don't need you. And you don't need us, quite frankly. Musk, you don't need to be in the White House. You've got enough money for 1 billion lifetimes. You do not need us. We do not need you. Go off, fucking buy an island, or do whatever the fuck you want to do. Buy a fucking airplane, travel all over the world, have your fun with your fucking money. But see, that's the thing. He's got too much. Because it doesn't take $400 billion to have fun. Like I said, you could have a few hundred grand and probably have fun. At least I would. Give me 500 grand, I'll have a fucking all kinds of fun. But I guess it's not just about fun with these motherfuckers. They become addicted to money. They become addicted to power. None is never enough. No amount of money is ever enough. No amount of power is ever enough. It's not enough that Elon Musk, however you want to say it, but he's a CEO of Tesla and of his rocket company, whatever the fuck. And he owns X, the biggest, one of the biggest social media outlets that there is. And none of it's enough. None of it's enough. It's never fucking enough. And that's when it's an addiction. And how do you handle addictions? You take whatever it is they're addicted to, you take that away from the addict. And for him, it's money and it's power. And that needs to be taken away from Musk. He's ruined it. You ruined your chance, Musk. You could have just gone off and fucked off and just had fun with your money. You could have fucked whoever you wanted to fuck. And you could have flown wherever you wanted to flown. And you could have just lived an extravagant life. Beyond all extravagance, but you've proven that you can't handle it. So you need to have it all taken away. In my opinion, it needs to be all taken away because you obviously can't handle it. Exhausted Liberal says Trump has everyone so terrified that people are voluntarily going back to their countries. We need to do something. Oh, the old self-deportation that What's his face talked about? You know, what's his face? Tall, good looking. What's his name? You know, the guy who ran against Obama. Not the other guy, but the other guy. Carol Alana's here and says, howdy y'all. Can you imagine how much El Salvador will charge the House prisoners? Somehow, dumb nuts will get a kickback like everything else. Yeah, it's all transactional. Mr. Bob Newell, 12:39 p.m. So yeah, I'm about, what am I? 16 minutes behind. Computer code, Barney Thompson, computer code. I guess talking about going into the Treasury Department there, I guess. Jeff Curry, 38 degrees here now after 76 yesterday. Yeah, we do get these temperature swings sometimes around the world, around the country. Carolina says, I called and emailed both my congressional maggots, called White House. The line's busy, so left message. They're only open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So there is a narrow window there. Paul McSquibney says, bloody freezing here. Hello, Paul McSquibney. Good to see you. Michael McAndrews is here. Hey, Michael. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the old driver's lounge. Always good to see Michael hanging out with us. Paul Burrow says it was hotter than a popcorn fart. Talking about last summer here in Vegas or whatever. It was. I agree. It was. Tim Farrell's here. Hey, Tim Farrell. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Chris Doug hanging in there, but infuriated. Kelly Starlink. Well, Starlink, that's another thing that he does, but he's also has contracts to make rockets, I think, right? That keep blowing up. Carolina Dumpy can wave a magic wand, and Viola, you got clearance, evidently. I think so. I think that's how. I really do think that's how it works. He can give presidential clearance. I think that's how Jared got clearance, because he couldn't pass an FBI background check and or whoever does it, whoever does those clearances. So, but I think the president has the ability to just waive all that. I do believe that. MJ Daniel, no, I don't think Leon has shit and should be arrested today. I agree, MJ. I think he should be arrested. And of course he's not, but you know, there's no harm in calling for it. Paul J is here. Paul says, arrest the president. I'd like that, but you know, you and I know that ain't happening. But yeah, he deserves to be arrested. I believe, because he's already been convicted of 34 felonies. He's already been found, liable in a civil case for sexually assaulting E. Jean Carroll. He has a lot of other cases that have been either, just because he won the presidency, they've either been, I guess, shut down or put on hold or whatever. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, he's still a fucking traitor. He's still smuggled out top secret, highly classified documents and was just freely showing them to people. Who knows who he showed them to? He's really buddy with the Russians and other players that would love to see this shit, like Iranians probably and Saudis and all that kind of shit. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a traitor. And I'm old enough to remember when traitors used to get executed. Just saying. The Soulcraft says he probably gets a G4 clearance because of the contracts with missile defense contractors. Oh, hell, I had a G4 clearance. I think I had a G5 clearance just so I could go in and install carpet back in, was it 1980? Was it 84? Installing carpet on the spaceship, on the space shuttle, a mock-up, like it was a simulator, flight simulator for I think it was the Challenger, but it wasn't the Challenger. It was a mock-up of it, like where they did flight simulations. And I was on a carpet installing company that we installed carpet for the flight simulator, and that was down in I think it was El Segundo. I think somewhere was it Lockheed? Who did those? I think it was Lockheed or whatever the big contractor was that did it. And I had to get I remember I had to get a security clearance. I thought they said G5. Maybe it was G4. I don't know. One of those. But I passed and I was able to go in and do my job. So there you go. Let's see here. MJ Daniel, just have to go vegan and grow our own food in the next 2 to 4 years. Yeah, I guess so. Plant our own gardens. I wonder if the apartment complex would let us do that, because right in this courtyard is a big patch of dirt. It might be good farmland. Marcia says the Sovereign Wealth Fund. Yeah, I don't even know what that is. I saw that was that an executive order? One of his executive orders? I don't even know what that fucking means. But I think what we need is a fucking wealth tax. Stuff that like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and others have been calling for years now. We need a fucking wealth tax. Paul J says Elon said posting their names was illegal, laughing out loud, and is suspending anyone who posts bad about Schindler. Fuck you, Elon Musk. Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. Elon Musk, I don't think it's going to end well for you. I really don't. Maybe I'm being overly optimistic. In the end, it's not going to work out good for you. Carolina says if Musk had to go through a normal background check like I did for just a top secret hubby had above that for skiffs, with his drug use and Russia ties, he would be denied even a confidential. Yeah, he's getting special treatment from Trump for sure. Hey, Walter Makarovich is here. Good to see Walter. Says, good morning, Trucker John. This is sure busy for a Tuesday. Trucker John, Tennessee Brando, and Tony Michaels are all live. 25th Amendment not far away. 25th Amendment. Carolina says, if I were Mussolini, I'd be worried about my drug suppliers. FBI is pissed. The Soulcraft says, remember Kushner couldn't get cleared last time and Trump somehow got him in. Yeah, like I said, I think Trump can give, like, he can use his executive powers to give people clearance, and just have them bypass the normal clearance procedure. Okay, I'm just scrolling up a little bit. I know I'm way behind. Nick Rich, this is at 9:42, so I'm about 13 minutes behind. William says Musk would never be prosecuted by this Justice Department. The Soulcraft says just in that the Treasurer sued Elon over access to sensitive data. That's the first thing I was thinking, is sue his ass. They need to sue his ass, and they are. Good. I don't know if it's going to amount to anything, but just fucking sue the fuck out of him. 56 Nick Rich, nobody needs $1 billion. Soulcraft. And like I said, if you can't prove yourself to be responsible with it, and you turn out to just be, a power-hungry, money-loving fool, where no amount of money is ever going to be good enough for you, then that, to me, says that you're addicted to it. You're addicted to the power that comes with it. You're addicted to just wanting to always accrue more and more and more. None will ever be enough. You're just like I don't know. You're just a junkie. You're a money and power junkie. So you need to go through rehab, and you need to have those things taken away from you, because obviously they're not doing you any good, and anyone else around you. Deborah Murphy says, "How has Elon Worth station have hit bottom?" Uh, well, I don't know. His cars are still some of the top selling cars in the world. Model Y, Model 3. I think sales have dropped, but they're still amongst the top highest selling in the world. I don't know. You mean a substation? You talking about the Vegas Loop? I don't know. As far as I know, they're still digging that. They just opened a new station going down to the Westgate Hotel here in Vegas. Tim Farrell says Trump wanted his name on the Mexican border wall. It didn't happen, and Mexico didn't pay for it. Canada will build one, call it Trump Wall, no charge. Put it on, I guess. I don't know. Carol Alana says, I hope this country holds together for 4 years. I think of the arrest if the Dems get back in. Come on, 2026. Come on, folks. Let's get ready for 2026. Let's vote, vote, vote. Let's vote our little hearts out in 2026. Didn't they just have some election somewhere? Might have been a special election or something. It was in an area or a district where Trump had won pretty bigly. He won bigly, and I guess the Democrat just won that by a pretty good amount. So it was a pretty big flip there. But we saw those things leading up to this 2024 election, where during midterms and between the midterms and the presidential election, and we saw special elections, and we saw quite a few surprise Democratic wins. And again, like Pink Nightmare, what's Pinky's name, was saying, it was rigged. It was rigged. They cheated. Trump cheated. There's no way. I'm more and more convinced there's no fucking way that he won. Legitimately. Trump fucking cheated. It was rigged. And we should have no qualms about saying that, because Trump never had any qualms about saying it. MAGA never had any qualms about saying it. But that it was rigged. 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 So I can say it, and I think we should all be able to say it was rigged. And we don't need one shred of fucking evidence, apparently. You can just say it. And I think we probably do have tons of really, at least circumstantial evidence for our case. We got way more evidence than they ever had. As far as I know, we don't have the Russians in our corner. Nick Rich says it's been said that what Elmo paid for shitter could have ended world hunger. See, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about anyone but themselves. They're all a bunch of fucking sociopathic narcissists. Mitt Romney, that's the one. Chris, Mitt Romney hawked self-deportation. Yeah. That's the one. That's, tall, good looking. John Lovell's here, by the way. John Lovell says, YouTube says I cannot chat. Sorry. Well, you just did. So, I don't know. What am I seeing here? I'm seeing you chat. I'm seeing your chat. Michael McAndrews says, we are witnessing the biggest farce in history. Trump belongs in prison. He is running our country. Like Jasmine Crockett said in the beginning, in the opening, the American people elected a fucking criminal. And then there are now people that are aghast that he's doing criminal things. Elect a criminal, expect criminal things to come from that criminal. Exhausted Liberal says they are going to confirm RFK. I'm slowly becoming depressed, I think, and the damn Democrats aren't doing shit to stop any of this. Well, what can they do? I mean, they are outnumbered. Even though it is narrow, very, very narrowly, but they are in the minority. So I'm not sure what they can do other than they should all be voting no. And any Democrats, like, because I can understand sometimes when Democrats vote for things that the Democrats wouldn't normally vote for, especially if it's not going to affect the vote, and they might live or they might be from a, say, if they're a House rep and they're in a district that's a little more conservative, a little, and they're just in there for whatever reason. Somehow they won, but they're not like in an AOC type district or whatever. So I can understand sometimes you got to, that's the politics part of it. You got to play some politics, but for the most part, for these shit bags that they're putting up there, there shouldn't be any Democrats voting voting in favor of a Pete Hegseth, for instance. And of course, when Kash Patel comes up and Tulsi Gabbard, now RFK, we really should be walking in lockstep and voting no on that, on all of them, because they are just so unqualified, so dangerous to the national security of this country, danger to democracy, danger to the Constitution. We are in a constitutional crisis. Exhausted Liberal says, at this point, I feel half the Democrats are maggots. No. Not even exhausted. I know you said you feel that way. Maybe, you can feel that way, but no, I don't think so. I disagree. I disagree. Chris Doug says Vladimir Putin is now conscripting Russian men with psychosis, schizophrenia, alcoholism, drug addiction, endocrinological conditions, and cardiovascular disease. Russia uses cannon fodder tactics. Well, they're well over 800,000 casualties. They'll be at 1 million before you know it. Carol Alana says, TJ, check to see if there are any community gardens in Vegas near you. Almost every big city does. Okay. Deborah Marie says, Marsha, I agree. We had nice weather last weekend. Steve, hey, Steve's here. Steve says, hi, TJ and friends. Just drop in to have leave a like and comment for the algorithm. Well, thank you, Steve. Got to nip out into the pissing rain. See you all around the interweb tonight. All right. Well, you stay careful out there, Steve. Be careful out there. Thanks for dropping on in. Paul J says, time for some classic Ghetto Boys. Or that's not really how you spell ghetto, so maybe I'm saying it wrong. I don't know. I've never heard of Ghetto Boys or Ghetto Boys or Get to Boys or whatever. I never heard of them. Chris Doug says Russian conscripts are ill-equipped and under-trained for combat. They are simply being hurled at Ukraine. It's murder. I had a guy, a passenger, a couple weeks ago who was Russian, and he was probably just in his mid to late 20s, young, healthy dude. And I didn't even really, I mention it. I mean, I didn't bring it up, but I guess he's been here for a few years. I don't know if he's an expired visa or he's got a visa going, because he told me he works. He told me his job and what he does and everything, but and then he's the one that said, I'm not going back to Russia because of the war. Because he knows if he goes back, they're going to stick him on the front line and he's going to get killed. So good for him. He's out here. He's got a job, a good paying job out here in Nevada and in the States. And he's been here for 4 years and he says he's not going back. And I don't blame him one fucking bit. I wouldn't go back either. Michael McAndrew says, I wish I could get some good tamales and enchiladas here. The good Mex restaurant closed and the fast food Mex place sucks. Sucks. Well, that does suck because Mexican food is probably my favorite food. And I think we've got pretty good Mexican food out here in Nevada and even California. And then, I've heard some snobs get pretty snobby about it and say, no, it's not authentic or whatever. Well, whatever. I like it. And that's all that counts, is what my tummy likes. And I do think that we have probably the best Mexican food, California especially, and even in southern Nevada, which is basically kind of like California, whether Nevada wants to admit it or not. Some of the best Mexican food in the country, for sure. Let's see. Steve says, hey, if it talks like a Nazi and salutes like a Nazi, it's probably a duck. Quack. John Level says, don't be rude. Don't be rude. John from Las Vegas is here. Hey, John, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking in. Always good to see John from Las Vegas. Hello. Bonnie Thompson says, just read another report. One of Pelon's minions has already made extensive changes to the Treasury system base code and pushed it to live. The whole system is going to glitch. See, that's got to be criminal. That's got to be a criminal act. By the way, we are also multicasting over on Facebook and on Twitch for anyone who is interested. But Bonnie, yeah, that's not criminal? That's got to be a criminal offense. This is why we need a good FBI director. FBI needs to storm that office, and they need to arrest anyone who's doing that. Exhausted Liberal says, if we say 2024 is rigged, that means we are acknowledging 2020 was rigged too. We have to take the high road on this or concede ground in the 2020 election. Why do we have to? Why if we say 2024 is rigged, then 1980 was rigged. Okay, 1980 was rigged. What year hasn't been rigged? 1960. I don't know. They were saying Kennedy got a bunch of votes from dead people. Okay, I'm trying to think of a year where this would work. If 2024 is rigged, then I guess 1918 was. I don't even know if 1918 was an election year. I don't know. I mean, or I guess because we keep it within the Trump era. But I will say that 2024 has a lot of question marks. And there is a lot coming out about legal votes not being counted. I looked up for a minute. I thought I saw something up there. There are reports. There are legitimate reports. Like I said, I think we have way more than whatever Giuliani and Mike Lindell ever had, as far as evidence. Big Dog says, hi, very busy morning on the smoke break. Thought I'd pop in and say hi. Hi, Big Dog. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. I know I'm about 15 minutes behind, or so you're probably gone already, but thanks anyhow. James Williams says, that doesn't make sense for Democrats to make claims without any evidence at all. That is why Republicans are so despised. Well, I think we do have some evidence. There are reports of millions of votes not being counted that were legal votes. And that's not just me talking out my ass. The Soulcraft says FBI employees file class action suit against DOJ over a questionnaire. Just scrolling down here. Scrolling. MJ Daniels says, great little Mexican grocery that sells excellent tamales here in Olympia. Tuata 106, smooth sounds of Tuata 106 is in the driver's lounge. Says, holy feck, RFK Jr. was approved. Children are literally going to die. He was approved out of that we talked about that early. He made it out of committee. Like they have a committee first before it goes to the main body. So he's not actually in yet. I don't believe that vote will be coming up later. But he's probably going to pass. I mean, let's just face it. The Republicans are they're all, they're all in on it. They're all walking in lockstep with Trump. They're too gutless. They're too chicken shit. They're too spineless to stand up to Trump and to MAGA. That's what it is. Because every fucking senator and every fucking House rep, they all know that RFK Jr. is a complete and utter fucking nut job. It has no business being anywhere near the White House, let alone as a head of a department like this that has anything to do with health and human services. Everyone knows he should not be there, but the Republicans, are all going to vote for him because they are spineless fucking cowards. That's what we need to call them out on. Chris Doug says Bush 2 election was rigged. Remember hanging chads? Absolutely. 2000, Bush v. Gore. Gore won. Gore won Florida. If they had counted those votes, which they later did, but it was unofficial because the Supreme Court stepped in and appointed George W. Bush. He was appointed president. He didn't win. Gore won the votes, and he would have won the Electoral College by getting Florida. Al Gore should have been the president. Just within my lifetime alone, the Republicans have stolen, well, at least the Reagan and the Bush W elections. Those were stolen. 1980 with Iran-Contra, that's what won it for Reagan. That was illegal. It was illegal what the Reagan campaign did to beat Carter. That was illegal. I'm going to say it. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. It was fucking illegal. So therefore, it was rigged. 2000, Supreme Court, they shut down the count. They stopped the count in Florida and essentially handed over the presidency to George W. Bush. So that's at least two examples where Republicans had illegitimate presidents that served two fucking terms and were some of the most devastating, had the most devastating effects on this country since probably either the Civil War, and the Great Depression. MJ Daniel says gerrymandering, removing legal voters from the polls and closing voting centers in key states is all the tampering they needed, along with massive propaganda on social media. Yep. Oh, wow, look at that big dog coming in with a $4.99 super sticker. Time ran out on the goal, so here's a tax-free tip to refill the snack bar and coffee. Thank you so much, big dog. Big dog, you get a yippee! Thank you so much for that. Helping out the show, helping support the show. It's always appreciated. But never required. What is required, though, is that you give me a thumbs up and you subscribe. Those are free. Don't cost you a dime. But I do appreciate the financial donos, as some people call them. And so thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Tawana 106 says, it's 2025. I missed the wit and wisdom of George W. Bush. Oh, yeah. The wit and wisdom. I know you're being funny. I know you're just being funny. Hey, here's Oliver Brownlow. Good to see Oliver. Thanks for joining us here in the driver's lounge today. It says, don't ever forget that Reagan stole Jimmy Carter's briefing book. Oh, yeah, for the one and only debate. Yes, Oliver. That's a good point. Yes, he did. Fucking Reagan. And they fucking idolized Reagan so much for so long. It's just disgusting. Michael McAndrew says, yep, John, Reagan was a criminal before he got into office. Al Gore should have been president and Trump should have been in prison. I know, and I hate to go down that woulda, shoulda, coulda road, because it makes my head literally want to explode. Of all the woulda, shoulda, couldas, or the shoulda never beens, like Reagan should have never been president, W should have never been president. And so I, at some point, I just have to tell myself, stop it, stop rehashing it. We're not going to be able to change it. But the only thing good about looking back, or maybe not the only thing, but when it comes to this type of thing, the only thing good about looking back is to try to learn from it so we don't repeat it, right? That old expression, those that don't know their history are deemed to repeat it or whatever. So in that sense, we need to, not forget these crimes, actually, that were committed by Reagan and Bush campaigns, or by the Supreme Court, or whomever, so that we can try to combat it when we see it. Pink Nightmare says, got no love for politicians or that crazy scene in D.C. Carol Lana says, agree 1,000,000% TJ on stolen elections, plus 2016 Russia dump and 2024 dump and voters been disenfranchised. I'm afraid this is our future 1984 in reality. It is. And I know that Hal Sparks does not like those analogies and those references. But this the other day, was it Trump or who was it that said something? I can't remember what it was now. But I remember going, this is fucking doublespeak. And that's from fucking Orwell. Doublespeak. That's from fucking 1984. And what Trump is doing and what a lot of these Republicans are doing is fucking doublespeak. It's where they say something, but it means the exact opposite of what they're saying. It's fucking... That's Orwellian. That's Orwellian. Orwellian. That's as Orwellian. I can't talk. I'm going to keep trying though. That's as Orwellian. Cut. Take 10. That's as Orwellian. Cut. Take 11. That's as Orwellian. Cut. Take 13. That's as Orwellian. That's Orwellian. That's as Orwellian as it gets. Okay, now let's try it from the top. Okay. That's as Orwellian as it gets. Cut, that's a wrap. Check the gate. All right, so yeah. That was a long road to hoe. Let's see. Chris Doug says, ever seen a Reagan B movie? He basically read his lines off of cue cards, bloody awful, and the co-star was a chimpanzee. Well, yeah, Bonzo. Bedtime for Bonzo. Bonzo was the star and a much better actor. The Soulcraft is just a power mad town, in quotes, Was that from a movie or a TV show, perhaps? I don't know. James Williams says, or negotiated to keep American hostages until after the election. That's the rigging part of it. And it was illegal. They didn't have the right to negotiate shit. They weren't in office. You can't operate as an agent of the country or whatever. They that you can't do that. It's illegal. Carolina says, I got a dash. Go to pharmacy. Hope I can get my meds. Surprise, my medicine is out of stock. So now trying to find alternatives. Thanks, FDG. Well, Carol, I hope you get what you came for. No, I hope you get what you're gonna. I hope you find what you need. I'm not talking too well today. Michael McAndrews says, Roxanne Armfield, I can't help it. It is the truth. I can't help myself. Oliver Brownlow says also, what was Watergate but an attempt to steal the election? The purpose of the break-in was to get dirt on Democrats to influence the election. Absolutely. Absolutely. That was well, that's what the Nixon White House plumbers, as they were called, they got arrested for all that shit. They all got in trouble. Nixon's the only one that really got away with it all. I guess Peak Nightmare, I guess these are song lyrics. It's just a power mad town, but the time is ripe for changes. I don't know what song that is. I don't know. Terrence Bunce is here. Hey, Terrence. Good to see you. It says December 12th, 2000, declared Bush Cheney winners. It was a dark day, and I'm not talking about winter season either. Yep. It was a dark day for sure. James Williams, I did like the Bush hunting stories. I don't like anything about Bush. So Peak Nightmare, oh, now there's more song lyrics, but now I've seen the payoffs. I think there's something. Everywhere I look, who do you trust when everyone's a crook? Revolution calling. Peak Nightmare just singing over here. Yeah, I don't know what song that is. So. Big Dog, they view 1984 and Animal Farm as instruction manuals, but I don't think they're getting the right message. Those were supposed to be warnings of what not to do or what not to accept. I think maybe they took the wrong message. Yeah, but like you say, it is it is an instruction manual though. Yeah, from that point of view. The Soulcraft says, I watched the old version of 1984 other night. Still prefer the one made in '84 with John Hurt. That's the only one I've ever seen. I think is the John Hurt one. I didn't even know there was an older version. Butterflies are free. It's here. Hello, Butterflies are free. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us here in the old Driver's Lounge. It says Vigilantes Inc. It's an informative documentary about residents in Georgia who question other residents' votes. Then they basically pull their vote. One person pulled 4,000. That's what I'm talking about. That's where the millions of votes were. Yeah, they could just call anyone into question. With no safeguards. It's horrible what's going on. Non-Mutual says a recall over Walmart sold broccoli florets has been escalated to Class 1, the highest threat level. So be careful of the broccoli florets at Walmart. They might just do you in. Nick Rich, 20 past the hour, so I'm about 5 minutes behind. Search for You is here. Hey, good to see Search for You. Thanks for joining us in the Driver's Lounge. Search for You says U.S. Senator Todd Young, Republican Indiana, announced Tuesday that he will support Tulsi Gabbard's nomination as Director of National Intelligence, boosting her chances for confirmation. Yeah, she's going to get in probably. But I think we all need to make a stand and say no. Just say no. I don't really know why any Democrat would vote for Tulsi Gabbard or RFK Jr. or Kash Patel. And then going back to Hegseth, I don't see why a Democrat would vote for them. Even if you are from maybe a more conservative or right wing district, fucking make a stand, man. And I know we don't want to just lose those seats either. So, like again, that's the politics part of it. That's the tightrope part of it. We don't want to lose seats. It's just, as much as we didn't like Joe Manchin, at least he was a Democrat and he voted along with the Democrats at least 85% of the time. Now we've got somebody in there who's going to vote for the Democrats probably closer to 0% of the time. So just remember that. The Soulcraft says Queensryche were ahead of it even in 1985 with AI and Rage for Order. No one can hear when you're screaming in digital. They were ahead of the times. It was 1985. That's 40 years ago. Big Dog says, you read my mind, Nick Rich. The Soulcraft, laughing out loud, double plus good. Or because Oliver Brownlow said your pronunciation of Orwellian is double plus good. Orwellian. Now I can say it like a motherfucker. Orwellian. All that practice paid off. Orwellian. Chris Doug, I'm watching Trucker John on my telescreen. Oh yes, the old telescreen from 1984. Ivy Joe Rames, I got to bounce out for my last chemo treatment. Have a great day, love. Well, you have a great day too. I hope all goes well with the chemo, and I hope your treatments go well. So the best to you there. The Soulcraft, touch your toes, Smith. Non-useful Tulsi is a Putin bootlicker. Yeah. We don't need Russian spies in our defense fucking Department of National Intelligence, for God's sakes. For God's sakes, you fucking Republican assholes that are going to vote for her. Do we really need a fucking Russian asset? No. Answer is no. I'm being a bit rhetorical. So to all you spineless chicken shit motherfucker Republicans who are going to vote for Tulsi Gabbard, you're just as much of a fucking traitor as she is. And as your dear leader, Donald Trump, is. You're all a bunch of fucking traitors. You're all a bunch of fucking traitors, so fuck you. Christina Weibel's here. Hey, Christina, good to see you. Says, hello, Trucker John. We already have spies in our government. Musk. They're all over the place. They're all over the place. Yeah, Musk, Gabbard. I mean, right at the head. Trump's he's a big fucking traitor and gives away. I'm sure he gives everything to fucking Putin. Nick Rich, 10:30. John caught up. Yep, it's 10:30. I did catch up. Chris Doug says, feel the love in the chat. We care what they hate. Marcia says, take care, Ivy. Doug, 13:30. So yeah, look at that. It only took me almost an hour and a half to get caught up, but I got caught up. So yeah, we got 42 watching, 61 thumbs ups. Thanks for those thumbs ups, guys. The Soulcraft says she's dangerous. I actually think she has an underlying psychopathy. She is something wrong with her, definitely. But I think that might be a prerequisite to being in a Trump administration, I guess. Big Dog says, okay, break's over. I got to go get back at it. Y'all take care. See you later. 21st Century Suffragettes, 5 p.m. this time. Thank you, Big Dog. Thanks for being here. And yeah, be sure to check out the 21st Century Suffragettes at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And there's Jolie. Help for Liberal Dan's wife's medical. That's another thing. Yes. There's a GoFundMe for Liberal Dan's wife. And so there's GoFundMe, and then there's a Venmo link right there. So if anyone could help out, Liberal Dan's wife Cassie, she's been having some medical issues. She's in the hospital. She's been in and out of the hospital. They're trying to figure out what exactly is wrong with her. And I've had relatives like that too, where they didn't know what the hell was going on and had to go in for all these kind of tests and going in and out of the hospital. So I know it's a very expensive thing and costly, and it can be a lot of anxiety there, so anything that you can do, if you can help Liberal Dan out, help with his wife's issues there, that would be great. So that's the link: GoFundMe and Venmo. That would be greatly appreciated. Anyone who can do that, and if you can't, donate anything financially, just keep Cassie, in your prayers and positive thoughts. Chris Doug says Tulsi is in a cult. Well, she grew up apparently in some sort of cult. I don't know if she's still in the cult. I don't know. Christina Weibel says, I just joined the chat. Yes, just like the rest of them. Oh, as far as being spies or traitors or whatever. Pink Nightmare, they're building Empire. Christina says, I watched Liberal Dan last night. I was in and out. I saw a little bit of it, and then I was out working. Speaking of working, for those of you that don't know or whatever, as a recap here, I drive for Lyft now. Been doing that for 3 weeks. So last Monday, a week ago last night, I decided to take the night off, and then that led to taking Tuesday night off. And then that led to Wednesday, me going out and only getting one ride in an hour and a half period. So I just stopped. So I had a very poor week last week. Needless to say. So I said, okay, so tonight I'm going to go out. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and try to knock off as many of these rides as I can and all that kind of stuff. So I went out last night. And I only drove, I think I was only on the app like 2 hours or maybe 2.5 hours. But so, and I started, I forget what time I started, like 7 or something. So, and actually the first hour and a half, I had about 4 rides, which is about on par. I've always said that I usually average 3 rides per hour. That seems to be what it is. But actually, for the last week or so, that's been way down. I don't know what's going on with Lyft. I don't know if it's just Lyft is just a horrible app, a horrible company compared to Uber or what. But I think I'm averaging more like 1 or 1.5 an hour now. Because last night, okay, but I was kind of on a roll. I had like 4 rides within an hour and a half. And then it kind of slowed down a little bit. And then I got 1 more ride. So I had 5 rides in about a 2-hour period, I guess. And then all of a sudden, then nothing was coming in. I was just sitting there driving around, or I would park somewhere, but with the app on, or drive around, and nothing was coming in for like a half an hour. Nothing. And that never happens with Uber. I mean, with Uber, it's always boom, 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 boom. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to take a break, and I'll come back on. So I took a break. I went and got me an ice cream at Five Guys. I didn't get a burger because I already had eaten earlier and stuff. But I just got an ice cream cone, and I ate my ice cream cone, and I sat there in the car for about a half an hour. Then I turned the app back on, And again, nothing. For like a half an hour, I drove around. I turned the app on. Nothing for like 30, 35 minutes. So I don't know what the fuck. It's horrible. So then I just said, okay, I'm going home. So I went home, turned the app off, went home at like 10 o'clock or 10:30 or whatever it was. I think it was like 10:30 or something like that. So I was actually only on the app, the Lyft app, I think for 2 hours and 15 minutes or something like that, or 2.5 hours. I got 5 rides, but that's 5 more rides than I got last Monday. So Lyft sucks. Lyft sucks. So I might become a taxi driver. I've sent my application, a resume, and my driving record over to this cab company. All I got to do now is call them back and make an appointment for an interview. I might be doing that. I might try that. I might be John the taxi driver. What the hell? Christina Weibel says money is tight, John, especially now. Michael McAndrew says don't need to say sorry, Christina. Non-Mutual says Vegas odds are in RFK's favor as now that Senate Bill Cassidy, Republican Louisiana, has said he will vote for his nomination for health secretary. Oh, I know he's a favorite to do that. To get he's favored to have it pass. Butterflies are free. Russia will become an ally under Trump. It's happening right under our noses. Marcia says, Sugar John, I hope you get more folks tonight. Me too. I mean, it's ridiculous. It should be 3 an hour. So if I go for 5 hours, that should be 15 rides. So either Lyft sucks, or maybe I just had this thought, people aren't traveling. People aren't spending money now because of Trump. All this, the stock market already took a dip, a big dip yesterday, coming off of Trump's bullshit, tariffs and all that shit. I did have a Canadian couple the other night. They were petrified. They came down from Canada, and they said this might be their last time coming down to the States for a long, long time. They said they own a restaurant in Canada, and they were really upset about these tariffs. Now, since then, there has been this like 30-day delay or whatever, but they were like, we're probably going to go out of business, and we're not going to be able to buy anything if these prices go up like they're supposed to be going up. And we're not going to be able to afford a nice little trip to Vegas. They were saying this. They were saying that this is their last hurrah. That's how they categorized it. So if things keep going the way they're going under Trump, people aren't going to travel to Vegas. They're not going to have money. Who's going to have money to go out to Vegas? We saw what happened during COVID here in Vegas. It was a ghost town. Literally, I mean, it was shut down. Maybe not literally, but it was shut down. It was black. It was dark. The lights weren't on for the first couple months. It was completely dark, and then slowly they started, bringing back a few things after a few months, and they had to start. It was all skeleton crews. It was all social distancing and plastic shields, and there was a limit of how many people could be in those casinos. It was some really dark times for Vegas, and of course for the world and for the country. But this could happen again, not even because of a pandemic, but just because of Trump's disastrous economic policies. It could have the same result that COVID did. This could become a ghost town again, because if people don't have discretionary money, how are they going to go on any trip? Maybe saving money until we know what will happen. Auto, graphics, and IT workers in my house all had slow weeks. Yeah, that's probably it. The Soulcraft says, thinking of applying at our airport to do shuttle service rides. Now, I will say that the airport was busy. On Sunday night, especially. On Sunday night, I did a lot of airport rides. Which was weird, because usually, and that was all for incoming. That was all for people coming in. So I'm kind of contradicting myself, I guess. But usually Sunday is when everyone leaves. But on this Sunday, there was a lot of people coming in. And I did get quite a few rides on Sunday. Well, quite a few. It was like 8, whatever. I don't know. Refreshing water. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Christina Weibel says Canada is still pissed off and they are ready for the next fight with Trump. Oh yeah. Now these folks that I had that were from Canada, they're the ones that they started talking politics. So I just took that as my cue and I started talking too. And they were kind of they were kind of, I think, typical. Now they're Canadians. They're not, U.S. citizens or whatever. But they're kind of typical in a way where they were like they're upset about the tariffs, but they also don't like Trudeau, who they made some reference about Trudeau ruining their country, and also referenced our election here, that basically that there were no good options, that both choices, meaning Trump and Harris, or even Biden for that matter, before he stepped down, that neither choice was good. And I think I was able to, because I was mainly talking with the lady. It was a couple, a male female couple. I think they were husband and wife. I was mainly speaking with the wife. The husband kind of chimed in a little bit here and there, but I think I was able to sort of soften her view on Harris by the end of our little conversation, because I was saying, like, I said I think Kamala Harris would have been a great choice, and not just a not voting for Trump choice, but I really think she would have been a great choice, and I think that she did have some great economic policies that she would have continued the Biden policies, which were really good. And I went down through my little list, of how coming out of COVID, inheriting a really bad economy from Trump, that Biden really turned us around, made us really the envy of the world with our inflation, which dropped from over 9% down to 2.5%. We had the highest GDP we've seen in decades. We had wage growth that we haven't seen in decades. We've seen jobs coming back that we thought would never come back. I kind of that whole little list. And I think Kamala Harris really would have continued that and improved on that. So I think that. So I told her I think Kamala Harris would have been a good choice. And then I said, but I really think that if she had more time to campaign, she probably would have won. And then the woman said that, well, do you think that there's enough people that were willing to vote for a woman for president? And that's when I said, yeah, I think that's a good point. I told her that's a good point, because I go, obviously there weren't. And that was a big issue for a lot of people. And she goes, yeah, they don't want a woman. And I go, unfortunately, that I think you're right. There was enough of that too, of this misogyny. But but then that's when I said, but I do think if Kamala Harris had more time to run, that she could have overcome that. And I do believe that. I think she could have overcome that. If she had 6 months or 9 months or 18 months to campaign, I think she could have overcome that. But I guess we'll never know. We'll never know until it actually happens, until we actually get a woman in there. And I hope it's a good woman. Who was it? I don't know. Somebody was saying that they think that the first woman president will probably be a Republican. And I hope that's not true. I don't want a woman president to be elected who doesn't have good policy, and Republicans don't have good policy. There hasn't been a Republican worth my vote in my lifetime. I've never voted for one. I'm 64 years old, in case you didn't know. I know you might think I'm much younger. I know. But I've never voted for a Republican. None of them are worth a damn. None of them are worth my vote. So I hope that whatever woman president we get is one who deserves to be there. I think Kamala Harris deserved to be there. I think Hillary Clinton deserved to be there. I think they would have been great leaders, great presidents. So we have to move forward, move on. We got to move on, and hope we have elections in the future. Hey, look at there, Fancy. Welcome to Driver. Hey, Fancy, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Haven't seen you so much lately. You seem to sort of pop in and out, so good to see you. I'm glad you're a driver now. Congratulations on becoming a driver. And I do appreciate your support of the show, as always. Billy Kid 73 says, too many old-minded folks in this country that didn't want a woman president. Right. Kimchi hugs to Marie G. Look at there, Michael McAndrews with a $20 super sticker. You all are the best. Thank you, Michael McAndrews. Thank you for that donation. Yippee to Michael McAndrews. Thank you so much for supporting the show, helping us to grow and keep going, keep on doing what we're doing. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. That stuff doesn't cost you a dime, and it helps the show. And thank you, Michael, again for that donation. As always. Josh is here, says, hey, loungers. Hello there, Josh. Thanks for hanging out here in the old driver's lounge. We got 47 watching, 64 thumbs up. Thanks for the help. Thanks for all your support, guys. Soulcraft says Waffle House just added 50-cent surcharge on every egg. Wow. Oliver Brownlow says a lot of people are strong daddy as their president. Want a strong daddy as their president. I want one who has good democratic values. And to me, that is, of course, following the Constitution, believing in democratic rule. Even though we have a representative government, we use democratic techniques or policies to elect our representatives. One who believes in a strong social safety net. One that believes in well-regulated capitalism. I don't mind capitalism as long as it's well-regulated. I don't believe in unfettered capitalism. I believe that we should have strong regulation. We should have consumer protection. I like a democratic leader that believes in strong workforce and labor laws, labor rights, workers' rights. I want a leader that is for getting us off of fossil fuel usage and into green renewables as much as possible. Combating climate change. I am for a Democratic leader that is for promoting equal rights, civil rights, and the Republicans just don't check off many of those boxes at all, if any at all. That's why I don't vote for Republicans. They are really there for one purpose, or maybe two purposes, and that is to cut taxes for the rich and to cut regulations for their corporations and businesses. Really sort of the antithesis of everything I just spoke of. Jeff Curry, well, Trump is strong, but smell ain't everything. Yeah, he's a strong one, all right. Strong smelling, Yakety Smack, don't talk back is here. Says Yakety Smack says Daddy Dynamic is effing sick, maybe incest like. Yeah, he's a sick puppy, that's for sure. Michael McAndrews, we know what Trump wanted to do to his own daughter, and Fancy is also in agreement saying he is sick. I think most of us are in agreement of that. Donald Trump is a sick psycho. And regardless of what my cousin says, just because he may have won, and we've talked about earlier about, all the things about voting and stuff, but just because he won doesn't mean we have to sit here and take it. Doesn't mean we have to sit here like little quiet church mouses, afraid to say anything. MAGA sure as hell didn't shut up when Biden won, so we ain't going to shut up either. What the hell makes you think we're going to shut up? And we're justified. I mean, maggots, they complain about shit that doesn't even exist. At least we've got stuff that exists. At least we have real things to complain about. Like the Treasury Department being overrun and taken over by a South African illegal immigrant, basically. So let's not be, I guess, too depressed. Let's really just think about 2026. Let's think about what can we do. And I know we've got voter suppression, we've got all these things that we talk about, but let's overcome that. Let's overwhelm the ballot box. I think the more that we show up, the more of us that vote, I think it is harder for them to overcome their whatever voter suppression techniques that they used. The higher the turnout, the harder it is for them to overcome that. So we need to come out in big numbers in 2026. Huge numbers in 2026. I really hope we can send a message loud and clear, so there's no doubts. Just overwhelm them at the ballot box, and let's have a big giant blue wave in 2026. And let's just think positive. I know a lot of us will say there's not even going to be an election in 2026. They're going to get rid of the elections or whatever. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm planning on voting. I hope every one of you and everyone in this country plans on voting. Everyone who is an eligible voter, I hope you plan on voting. I hope you plan on being registered. Make sure you're registered. Do whatever it is you got to do to make sure you vote. I hope. What was it, like 70 million eligible voters didn't even vote? And we had almost 20 million fewer that voted for Biden in 2020 that didn't vote this time around in 2024. We can't do that, folks. We can't do that if we want to get rid of this Republican destruction of our country, of our democratic republic, our constitutional republic, whatever you want to call it. If we want to stop the dismantling of that, and we want to stop this fascist takeover, then we either have to do it at the ballot box, or if not there, where? I'll leave that up to your imaginations. Fancy says, I plan on voting. Good for you, Fancy. Marsha will never vote Republican. Good. Good for you. I've done it, and I'm not planning on ever doing it. William, I'll never stop voting. Good. Jeff Curry says, he said you won't ever have to vote again. What did he mean? Who knows what he meant? I don't know. Because I know we want to infer that he meant that once he was in, there would be a stop to voting, and he was just going to be the permanent king. What was that? Something stopped running that I didn't even know was running. Anyhow, okay, I'll figure that out later. But anyhow, where was I at? I don't know. I forgot that thing threw me, and I forgot what I was talking about. But about Trump, and what did he mean? So I know we like to infer that he meant that he was going to just become a king or a permanent president, permanent whatever, do away with it. I don't know if that's what he meant. I really don't know, because I think he's so lost it that he was just maybe talking out of his ass. Nick Rich says there's an election in my province in 23 days. No long campaigns here. Chris Doug, I have never missed an election in 40 years of eligible voting. We need more people like Chris. I don't really understand people who don't vote. I don't really get it. I've always voted since I was eligible to vote. So yeah, I don't understand it. MJ Daniel says probably what he meant in his lunatic brain, and all the MAGA loons think the same. Kimchi says that stat is BS. Those people didn't vote because their vote was suppressed, tossed off rolls, or had their ballot contested provisional. Not all of them, Kimchi. Not all 19 million so far. No, I don't know. But I'm not arguing with you. Because I've been saying in the show that it was rigged, and that there was millions of votes tossed out, legal votes tossed out, or people were purged. So yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to argue with you, but I'm not sure. I'm just not sure 100% if that's BS. But maybe it is. I don't know. If all 19 million or 20 million were, suppressed or tossed out of the rolls or whatever. I heard it was more like 3 or 4 million, which would have been enough to make a difference. Butterflies Are Free says tidal wave incoming. I hope so. I hope it's a big blue tidal wave. William says I'm 72 and I've never missed an election. And regardless of we're talking about votes being tossed out and all that kind of stuff, there still are a lot of people that don't vote, and I don't understand why they don't vote. Although listening to talking to some people, maybe it is better that they don't vote, because they're so misinformed that they would vote for the wrong side anyhow. So I don't know. I guess I'm all over the place on this topic. Marsha says, yes, Jeff Curry, Blue Dot is where I saw you. Fancy Blue Dot in Texas. Socraft, if it wasn't rigged, I'm convinced Elon told Trump it was with his help. And that's how he convinced Trump to let him have all this access or something. Michael McAndrews says, remember when the aliens took JFK and sent him to the Soviet Union? A security guard said so. Then he finally got his gun permit. I don't remember that. I have no idea what you're talking about, Michael. If that's some sort of joke, like a funny joke or what, I have no idea what that is. Non-News says a total of 4.5 million registered voters purged, and of those, 90% were of color. Yeah, that's more like the number that I've heard. Anyhow, folks, I think I am losing a little energy. I did make myself some really nice pancakes for breakfast this morning, but I'm already feeling a little energy. I don't know what you call it when your energy goes down. So I think I'm going to need to go. I don't know, make something to eat again because I'm hungry. I don't know. It's been about 2 hours. I think we've talked about everything we're going to talk about. We just need to stay strong. Don't let them get us down. You know, and hey, before you go, I just want to urge everyone: okay, don't be pussies. Make sure you vote. Make sure you register. All right, none of this pussyfooting around bullshit. It's all vote. Get out there and vote in 2026. It's not too early to start thinking about it. Just hang on. I know it's going to be tough, but let's see if we can make it in 2026. We're only 2 weeks in, God damn it. We're only 2 weeks into this shit show of a Trump administration. And God, we're just clamoring for 2026. I know. That makes it seem longer, probably. But before you know it, it'll be here. So make sure you're registered. Make sure you vote. Let's send a big blue wave back into the Congress. All right. And then I'm going to go. I got to go too. I'm feeling a little energy, a loss of energy too. So I need to get some milk. I need to get that milk bath going. That's what I'm going to do. That always gives me some energy. So, all right, guys. Make sure you vote. That's all I got to say. All right. So, I'm all for voting. I'm all for voting. Also, of course, vote blue. Okay. And it is a blue versus red thing, unfortunately, because they make it so. Because they have such shitty candidates and shitty policies. Excuse my French. I'm all over the place with the French today. But that's what it comes down to. There's nothing that they offer, the Republicans. There's nothing they offer that's really any good. So how could it not be a blue versus red thing? They want to destroy everything that we've got going. They want to destroy it all. So we just can't do it. We got to hang together, all of us. Let's hang together, or as Patrick Hamilton the third said, whatever his name was, or we'll hang separately. Patrick Swayze, I think, said that. So anyhow, let's all hang together, stick together. Let's ride this one out. We're going to ride it out, and then hopefully in 2026, we'll ride a big blue wave. But in the meantime, hold them accountable. Hold Trump and Musk and all those fascists in Washington. Let's hold them accountable. Don't let them get away with it. Don't let them get away with anything. You call it out. Call them out. Every single time. Every single time. Let's start calling it out. All right. Let's remind MAGA and all the people who voted for Trump. You thought egg prices were coming down? I don't think so. Not anytime soon. You didn't think you were going to get deported? Well, guess what? You're getting deported. Et cetera, and so on and so on. Don't let any of that shit go by the wayside. Excuse my French again. All right. Back to you, Trucker John. Take us home. Take us out of here. All right. Those guys made an appearance. Chris Doug, Patrick Henry. Come on. It was Patrick Swayze or Patrick Hamilton III. It's one of those two. Come on. I know my trivia. I know my history. Roadhouse. Yeah. I think that was in Roadhouse as he was about ready to kick some dude out. He was like, "Hey man, gonna hang together, hang separately." That's my Patrick Swayze. I don't know. It's a work in progress. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'll be seeing you again on Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time, and again Thursday afternoon at 3 p.m. Pacific time for the House Sparks pre-show hangout. I might be doing a little chatting from the charger. I might just make a video. The thing about doing live streams is a lot of times the signal doesn't work very good and it's a bad signal or whatever. I don't know. What do you guys like better? Do you like videos? I think I've asked this before, and it seems like about a 50-50 thing about if I should just make a video and post it or if I should do a live stream. But anyhow, I'll be chatting in some form at a charger near me. Probably, maybe not till tomorrow. I think I've got enough juice to go another day. And since I last my charge, which was what, Sunday? I think it was Sunday. That's the one thing I do like about this Bolt. It does seem to get really good mileage. And another way to say fuck you to Elon Musk is Elon Musk, as long as you are at the head of Tesla, I will never buy a fucking Tesla, motherfucker. I don't care how much you drop the prices. I don't care how much you make it enticing, because there are some good prices, I think, on these coming down right now. But fuck you, Elon Musk. I'll buy a Chevy fucking Bolt before I ever buy a fucking Tesla. And that's another way that we can all tell Musk to go fuck himself. Don't buy Teslas. And you know, if you guys have been listening to me, you know how much I like my Tesla when I was driving it. It was not mine, but I rented it. You know how much I like the Model 3 and the Model Y. I was a big proponent of it. So now, no. Fuck you, Elon Musk. You lost a fan of your car in me, and I'm not the only one. You're losing them by the minute. So just tell Elon Musk, go fuck himself. I'm never going to buy one of your fucking cars. And I think they're good. I know a lot of people like to say they're shitty because either A, they just don't know about the car, or B, because, you know, why say something's good about, even though the person who owns that company is a piece of shit. It does send out a mixed message. Like for me, like I'm saying Elon Musk is a piece of shit, but his cars are great. So I guess I should just say his cars are shitty, even though that's not my experience. I know I'm a mess. I know I'm all over the place. But yeah, fuck you, Elon Musk. That's how I'm going to end the show. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Again, like I said, I'll see you guys on Thursday and maybe at a chatting session somewhere in between. Thanks again. Thanks for the donations from Michael McAndrews. Let's see here. I'm going to go over here real quick. We had Big Dog NC with the $4.99 super sticker. Fancy becomes a driver. Michael McAndrews with a big $20 dono. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. And thanks everyone who came in here and who gave me a thumbs up and who subscribes. We're up to 3,760 subscribers. Thank you so much. Let's keep building on that number. And you can help out by sharing and subscribing and chatting and getting us out there and the algorithm and all that good stuff. All that stuff helps. And couldn't do it without you. I wouldn't be here on this little device here talking to you with my little world's littlest microphone if it weren't for you guys. So thank you so much for being here. And remember, as always, we end the show with a words of wisdom from Trucker John. Trucker John wisdom right here. coming at you. Write this down. Pen, paper, pad, write it down. Here we go, guys. Okay. Ready? Okay. So just remember that
well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid, but doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Trucker John, on the road he rides, live streaming all through the nights. From politics to pop culture he speaks. No topic is off limits, nothing is weak. From Vegas to the highways, he'll never tire, shouting about food, talking about desire. He's the rebel of the asphalt, the king of the night. With a microphone in his hand, he's ready to ignite. Freedom is his fuel, passion in his soul. Gotta express himself, gotta take control. Moving through the country, keeping it real, no filter, no holding back, nothing to conceal. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key